Hi, and welcome to the Wednesday Word. This is a story from a Facebook page called Things That Make You Think. They told him to speak English better. They told me to mind my business. But at 72, I finally found my voice. My name's Harold. I'm 72 years old, a retired steelworker from Youngstown, Ohio. I live alone now in a sagging little ranch house where the porch light flickers every time the furnace kicks on. My wife passed 5 years ago. My two kids live in Texas and Oregon. Most days, the loudest sound in my house is the refrigerator groaning. Every Friday night, I drive my beat up Chevy to Walmart. I buy the same things: a few cans of soup, a loaf of bread, sometimes a frozen dinner. That routine, it gives me a rhythm, something steady in a world that doesn't feel built for men like me anymore. That's where I first noticed him, Miguel. He couldn't have been more than 21, maybe 22. Tattoos curled up his arms, a cross inked on his wrist. His English was accented but clear. He always said, "Good evening, sir," even when customers ignored him. Most did. Some were worse. I watched people throw change at him instead of handing it over. I heard a woman mutter, "This is America, learn the language." I saw a man bark, "Hurry it up, kid," like Miguel was a machine instead of a human being. But Miguel never snapped back. He just kept scanning, bagging, nodding. One night I stood in line behind a woman buying diapers and milk. She came up a few dollars short. Her face went pale and she started pulling things from the bag. Without saying a word, Miguel reached into his own pocket, slipped a $5 bill into the till, and bagged everything back up. The woman didn't even notice. She just whispered thank you and hurried away. But I saw. That night I couldn't sleep. My house was too quiet, my bed too big. I thought about that kid helping a stranger who didn't even look him in the eye. By dawn, I had written a note on the back of an old envelope. I saw what you did. That matters. The next Friday, I tucked it inside my receipt and slid it across the counter. He looked at me, puzzled. Then he unfolded the paper. His eyes welled up. "Thank you, sir," he whispered. From then on, I made sure to say his name. "Good to see you, Miguel." Every time. He'd smile wide like nobody had ever bothered before. And little by little, he started to talk back. One night, as he scanned my soup, he said, "I'm in nursing school, night classes. Hard, but I'll get there." He told me about his mother who cleaned office buildings and his younger sister who wanted to be a teacher. "We don't take from this country," he said softly. "We give." I nodded, throat tight. Then came the night everything shifted. The line was long, people impatient. A heavy-set man in a baseball cap muttered, "Why do they hire these immigrants? Can't even talk right." My hands clenched around my cart. My whole life I'd stayed quiet. In the mill, in the union hall, at the bar. I'd let the loudest voices win. But that night, I couldn't swallow it. I stepped forward, my voice rough but steady. "He works harder than you ever did. Show some respect." The man blinked, red rising in his face. "Mind your business, old man." "This is my business," I shot back. "Decency's everyone's business." The whole line went silent. Some customers stared at their shoes. A few nodded. One woman murmured, "He's right." Miguel kept scanning, but his shoulders straightened, his chin lifted. I left shaking, my heart hammering, but for the first time in years, I felt alive. The following week, Miguel handed me my receipt with a folded slip of paper inside. I opened it in the parking lot under the yellow lights. In neat handwriting, it said, "Thank you, Mr. Harold. You saw me when others wouldn't. I see you, too." I sat in my car and cried, big, ugly sobs that fogged the windshield. Not because I was sad, but because I realized how many times in my life I'd looked away, how many times I'd chosen silence over courage. Now, every Friday I still buy my soup and bread, but I also stand a little taller, and I call people by their names. Here's what Miguel taught me. Kindness isn't just cookies and smiles. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it means speaking up when others want you silent. You might not fix a town. You won't solve immigration debates or heal old divisions, but you can change the air in the room. You can make someone feel seen. And maybe, just maybe, that act will save them. Or save you. Have a good week.